This is the tutorial for the higher Year 8 paper. Question 1. The ratio of chickens to sheep on a farm is 3 to 5. There are 40 sheep. How many chickens are there? Now you're told you can actually use the diagram at the bottom. They've already drawn it for you. There are 40 sheep, which means this part is 40. 40 shared between 5 is 8, so each box is worth 8. How many chickens are there? Well, you've got 3 8s, 24. Okay, the ratio of chickens to sheep is 3 to 5, but you want the second number to be 1. So you have to divide both sides by 5, and 3 divided by 5 is 3/5, which is 0.6. So you'd have 0.6 to 1. Question 2. We've got a scatter graph, and we've got to draw a line of best fit. Now obviously we're going to use a ruler for this, and it doesn't need to go through the origin, but you want it to go sort of through the middle of the data. And then I'm going to use this. Someone who's got 40 in the maths test 40, go across. It's a pretty bad line there. And if I go down, I've got around 15. And they'll actually take anything within their interval of 15 to 18 for this one. Why is it suitable to draw a line of best fit? Well, because there's clear correlation, okay? And you can draw the line through the points. So you've got clear correlation here. Clear correlation. Okay, points are near the graph. Points near the line. Near the line. And then we've got one more question on this. Dory says this graph shows there's no relationship. Now the keywords we're looking for here are non-linear. So there is a relationship, but it's non-linear relationship. It's not a straight line. Okay, 2 similar parallelograms. To get from this one to this one, I'm increasing by a scale factor of 4. So I do the same here. 2 times 4 is 8, but the angles remain the same. In similar shapes, angles are the same. Number 4. We haven't really covered this yet, but you guys managed to do pretty well on this, and we're looking at product multiplying. So you've just got your 1 times table, your 2 times table, your 3 times table, and your 4 times table. Greater than 9, well, you've got, that one is not greater than 9, that is 9. So you've got 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 16, and a prime number. 2, 2, 3, and 3. There's your prime numbers. So that is 4 out of 16, which you can simplify to a quarter, but you don't need to if you don't want. Number 5. We seem to struggle a bit with this. Now, x squared, hopefully we remember, is a parabola, so it's going to look like that. Now, because it looks like that, there's actually going to be symmetry, okay? Which means that because there's a -1 here and a -1 here, these 2 numbers will be the same. So that's just 4. And these 2 numbers will also be the same. So when I calculate this one, which is easier because it's positive, it'll be the same as the -1. 1 squared is 1, take away 5, -4. And now I will plot my points. 0, -5, got -4 on both sides, then -1 on both sides, and then I think 4, 4 on both sides. And then you'll have a beautiful parabola. Now, because it's a parabola, please don't join it with straight lines. We should have a beautiful curve that's hopefully slightly better than that horrific curve I've just done. Number 6. This was actually answered very well. I was quite impressed by this. Loads of you understood that this means Mark drives 3 times as many. Okay, the ratio is 1 to 3. That means 3 times as many. For example, if that was cat, Mark would be that, which is 3 times as much. Loads of you talked about the ratio of 1 to 2, or 3 times, this being 3 times as many. So that was brilliant. Now he drives 120 more than cat, so the more bit is there. That's worth 120. So 120 divided by 2 is 60. That's what each block is worth. Okay, so Mark drives the more bit, so 3 60s, and cat just drives 160. Surprisingly, this wasn't done as well as I might have hoped. So let's practice these. First of all, let's multiply by their reciprocal. Some of you didn't reciprocate this. 2/3 times, and the reciprocal of 4 over 5, 5 over 4. Okay, now you can simplify that first or afterwards, it's up to you. Now these are actually quite simple already, so I could just do 10 over 12, and that simplifies 5 out of 6. 2 divided by 1/6 means how many sixths fit into 2? Well, 1 divided by 1/6 is 6. You can fit 6 in 1, so you'd fit 12 in 2. You could again multiply it by the reciprocal if you wanted. Now this one, using our rearranging, is going to help us. So I'd have 5 over 3 times AB over A. I can cancel the A off both, so I've just got 5B over 3. Okay, direct proportion. Direct proportion means it has to go through the origin, and it's a constant speed, so it's linear, and a lot of you identified that. 12 miles in 15 minutes. Well, how many 15 minutes are there in an hour? 4 lots of 15 minutes, which means there'd be 4 lots of 12 miles, which is 48. What if you want to go 32 miles? Well, 15 mins is 12 miles. I can't make 12 into 32, but I can divide it by 3, and if I divide by 3 I'll get 4 miles, which I can make into 32. Divide by 3, so in 5 minutes I go 4 miles, and times by 8, 5 minutes times 8, 40 mins. Number 9, linear graph, straight line. So gradient, we choose any 2 points that we want, preferably ones that go through corners like here and here. That's 2 there and 6 there, and I do the change in y, which is 6, divided by the change in x, which is 2. 6 divided by 2, 3. Where does it intercept the y-axis? That's there, so that's at 0, 1, and the midpoint. If we add and half, -2 add 4 is 2, half it 1, 1 add 3, 4, half it 2, 1, 2. Number 10. This was answered really, really badly. Okay, disastrously, shall we say. It's a parallelogram. To find the area, we do base multiplied by the perpendicular. height. That means the height that's at a right angle. So it's this multiplied by this. This is dead to you. Ignore it. You do not want it. It will get you confused. Okay, rant over. 3 2/3 multiplied by 1 1/4. Now some of us just decided to do our own little maths thing and make up some wrong maths and just do 3 times 2 and 1/4 times 2/3. Please don't make up maths. Okay, so we need to make them both into improper fractions. 3 times 3 plus 2. We were confident on that. Lots of you got that sort of part of it right. Let's multiply them. 55 over 12. And our answer has to be a mixed number. 12 goes 4 times to make 48. And I'll have 7 left over. So it's 4 times with 7/12. Notice we didn't use this? Dead to you. Number 11. This was done brilliantly. Actually, really, really well. Couple of people made small mistakes, but generally pretty good. So 300 is your total. That's in our first line. 40 of the 90 students who went to Manchester were from year 8. So 40 from year 8 and 90 in total, which must mean there's 50 who are in year 7. 65 year 7 students went to London and 32 year 8 students. So in total that's 97. And 147 from year 8. 147. So 300 take away 147 is 153. 97 add 90 is 187. So that must be 113. 32 add 40, 72, which is 75. And 65, can't even read my own writing. 65 add 50 is 115. To get to 153 is 38. 38. Okay. And then I can just check that 38 plus 75 makes 113, which it does. Happy days. Okay, another one answered really badly. No one drew a nice little rectangle. Draw a nice little rectangle. Here's my rectangle. It's 15 centimetres by 14 centimetres. Now, the reason lots of what you went wrong is because you forgot what I said before. If you're changing area, okay, I know that normally to change centimetres to metres, you just times by 10, but when it's area, it's done differently. So please change the units before you do any multiplication. Okay, there's my actual, so this is my scale, this is my room. So the scale is 1 to 50. So both these numbers need to become 50 times bigger. Okay, so I need to times them both by 50. So that's 700 centimetres. And my base would be 750 centimetres. Now at this point, I can change them to metres if I want. So I've got 7 metres times 7.5 metres. Okay, and so I'm going to do 75 times 7, 5, 3, 49, plus 3 is 52, and it's 7.5, 52.5 metres squared for area. So I don't think anyone answered it that way, even those who did it correctly. So change the units first before multiplying them. Venn diagram. This is new for us. We haven't really done much of this. So I was really impressed that any of you got anything for this. So just to be clear, A intersect B is this part. So that's 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, also known as a quarter. this one means a complement. This means not A. So it means all the parts that aren't in A. So anything here, anything here, anything here. So there's 2 elements there, 2 out of 8, so it's actually the same as the previous one, in this case, a quarter. Okay, it's the end of that tutorial.